We are off and running on Thursday, the 28th of August. Man, August is almost out. September is almost here. Football's around the corner. We got, Labor Day coming up this weekend. My goodness. Welcome back to Damon Bruce Plus, brought to you by Ike Sandwiches. We got our good friends at the Dubliner. I'm even rocking the T-shirt today. And speaking of rocking it, we're rocking it with our friend once again, double dipping, Sammy Bananas, joining us live from Los Angeles. Sammy Bananas, how are you, man?
It's a good one. If you scroll deep in the Instagram, if you go deep in my Instagram there, which is actually at Sam Batesh, this is the Twitter handle at Sammy Batesh. But if you go deep in the at Sam Batesh Instagram, you will find the banana bit that I did with Colin Cowherd. Colin loves bananas and was talking about how he incorporated them in his diet every day. And I had to challenge him on the idea that peeling and eating a banana is an experience that is not celebrated. And the reason you know that is because on Saturdays and Sundays, when you're really excited about breakfast and brunch, nobody's peeling and eating a banana. Not a part of the equation.
I don't know. I mean, I don't want a smoothie without a banana in it. I think that the banana it dominates any smoothie. Like, you can put as much strawberries in there, an orange in there, that banana is going to dominate. But that was yesterday's show. Welcome everyone to today's show. Hit like and subscribe before we even get underway, if you would, please. It just makes the YouTube algorithm give both of us a kiss right on our forehead, and make sure you're liking and subscribing and hitting notify here on Damon Bruce Plus, and our good friend Thinking Out Loud, Siciliano and Sam, his YouTube channel as well. And folks, what we thought we were going to start with today turns into something a little bit different, because we've got NFL fashion to discuss. I feel like Joan Rivers wanting to do a red carpet show here. We have rivalry uniforms being dropped across the NFL. It is only the NFC West and the AFC East that are going to be dipping into this version, this go-around of rivalry uniforms, which I guess are going to roll out over the next 3 years of NFL football.
Correct.
All I can say is, Nike has just been so absentee at designing good uniforms lately. Sammy, did you see that Caitlin Clark logo that they rolled out? It was just 2 interlocking C's. I mean, yes. A 5-year-old would have needed.
Now, I will say this much, Damon. I spent time in television, and there was a real aggressiveness towards being creative, and we really were, and we pushed the envelope on a lot of things. And then I started to come off of that. At first, I loved something when it was just new and different and something I hadn't seen before. And then I realized that simplicity sometimes actually won the room a little better. So I don't mind sometimes when something is subtle but beautiful, it's a little different, but it's nice. It's not overwhelming. I don't hate that. Sometimes when it's simple, I don't totally hate it. The Caitlin Clark thing, because if you look at Tom Brady's logos and you look at Roger Federer, they're pretty clean, right? Those are pretty clean. I would say the Caitlin Clark thing, look, no doubt it's Nike, right? Is there an Oregon resonance to it? Yeah. Don't you think? I mean, when I look at it, I see Oregon. When I look at Caitlin Clark's logo, it has an Oregon feel to me. There's something about it that, I mean, you could say Olympics, except it's not 4 rings, it's only 2. The Caitlin Clark looks, to me, there's an Oregon vibe to it.
Well, the last thing I want to do is 5 minutes on Caitlin Clark logo.
We did it. We just did it. It just happened. That's it.
Look, I'm a big believer in keep it simple, keep it clean. What I don't like about I understand alternate uniforms are there to sell shit, and it needs to look a little bit different for people to want to buy it. But I like you said, subtle touches, delicate touches. To me, the single greatest uniform in the history of uniforms is Penn State away. Just white on white with 1 blue stripe. We're just here to kick your ass. Nothing fancy. That to me is the ultimate football uniform. I have loved the 49ers uniform before I covered the Niners. Before I was out here as a little kid, I just thought, man, that's an awesome uniform. And I can't stand alternative jerseys that don't make me realize what team I'm looking at right away. I don't like being confused by your alternate jersey so much. I don't even know who's playing in this game. That to me is a big fail when they do jerseys like that. A couple years ago during the what was it? Was it the
Thursday Night Football did Color Rush? That's what it was.
Rush.
Yes,
that's what Color Rush. And they gave the Niners some whited out ice white uniforms that I thought looked really, really good. And then they also did the 49er black uniform, which as soon as you got in that press box, you realized they didn't pipe the numbers or the names right. And you couldn't tell who was who. From the press box, you could not see what that number was on that jersey. You can't really read the name on that nameplate. They needed to put something around the piping of the numbers. They didn't. And it was a failure. I'd also say I never want the Niners wearing black. There was another football team around these parts that sort of was known for that color. So it should never be a color that the Niners lean into, in my opinion.
Before you jump to the New Jerseys, I want to discuss Color Rush, because Color Rush should not be judged for the Jaguars. Who got mustard? Was it the Jaguars? I think it was. Okay.
I think you did.
So I don't want to judge Color Rush on the mustard. I don't think the mustard was a great choice. I think teal would have been outstanding for the Jaguars. I think all teal would have stood out cool. And I will say the Seahawks jerseys that looked like this were awesome. I thought those were awesome. I thought those were awesome. And I think
a little obnoxious.
I thought Color Rush, for what it was, in other words, it wasn't forcing it down your throat, right? On a standalone, to see a Thursday night and to make it stand out as a different event, I appreciate it. And again, what was simple about Color Rush is we're giving you one color. We're just giving, in other words, we're giving you one vibe through the, it's not, you don't have to, there's not multiple things clashing. It's just, here you are. Here's that color, live with it. And again, I thought for a team that had a bold uniform in the Seahawks, they went for their boldest part, which was that highlight color. And yeah, I thought it stood out. I thought there was something really powerful about it. And I think if they went back, you know what I think would even be cooler, Damon? Because you like the Niners white jerseys, right? Do you remember do you remember the NHL used to be home whites?
Yes.
NHL used to be home whites, and then it became home colors. So they changed that. Yeah. I think home whites for Color Rush would have been cool, or home colors for home teams. In other words, you could have had one team on the field in white, all white color, and then one team was getting the bold new color. I think that would have been also a very cool way to introduce it, and then you wouldn't have two different opinions all the time. It would have just been one team that looks different.
Can we get you a lozenge?
That's you just need it once in a while. You get a Hamantash, you need a lozenge. It's part of it.
There you go. He's eating that. Anyways, so I didn't want the Niners to go all black. Having said that, they went all black, but I think they did an okay job with it. Look, I'm a big critic of these things. So let's just start with the helmet. Here is the helmet that they'll be wearing for their rivalry. And by the way, they're only going to wear it once, and it's going to be the final home game of the year against the Seahawks. Final home year, week 18 is when we're going to see these things. I love the gold face mask. I think the gold face mask on the gold helmet would have been nice if that would have been enough of a difference. I don't mind that. I would have preferred them go red helmet with the gold on it. This is the jersey. It's so much better than their last black jersey. I'm not a big fan of the script faithful. By the way, I've never heard a Niner fan refer to themselves like, yeah, man.
Niners faithful.
Like that is such a team slogan marketing. Faithful is whatever. It sounds like you're going to church. It's got the script faithful on it. That's fine. It's not offensive. I love the saloon font numbers. Awesome. The saloon font numbers are saving this entire thing as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
It's to the point where the Niners should almost just go with those. I mean, like, why don't the Niners incorporate the Niners should just have incorporated that font of a number on their normal home or away jersey and used that. I'd like to see that on a normal Niner jersey, that saloon font that they use. Do you remember when UCLA used to rock the saloon font?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Of course I did down here. And there are teams that, by the way, adopt a third jersey for all time. It does happen. Sometimes you fall in love with a third or a themed jersey, and it becomes the jersey of note. And I'm really okay with that. And I would say, I can't tell you. I mean, how about this? If you were looking for an outfit, let's just call it prom, and you went and you had the traditional Niners, the red with the gold, and you had, and you have white with the red and gold, and then this black was available, there's no chance you wouldn't try on the black before deciding which one you wanted. So I'm not saying that you would land on black, but when you saw that black on the hanger, you would say, okay, I'm trying that on. That would definitely be something you would have to compare the others to, because on a hanger, that one hits you in the face harder than any of them. I just think when you put black behind something, you are pushing forward you're pushing that gold all the way up at me. This to me is staggeringly, stunningly beautiful.
You really like these.
Because here's the thing, Damon. Look, because the logo, look at this. Because what it's doing is, to me, it's celebrating the logo and it's celebrating the colors. Because when you put black behind something, it's allowing red and gold to stand out that much more boldly.
Without a doubt, make it pop.
So that's what I like.
I would have liked to have seen them done something on the helmet that was maybe like logo on one side, Sutro Tower, or the Golden Gate Bridge wraparound.
Nice.
Or something. I mean,
little Michael Kennedy sourdough Sam, maybe.
You want to? So no one knows who Michael Kennedy is, but you and me. This is Jen Violet Kennedy's husband was Sourdough Sam, a friend of ours, the guy in the mascot. But yes, we should. Here's the thing: if you're gonna give me something different, give me something really different. And make it Bay Area iconic-y, like the when the Giants rolled out those Fog City Connect uniforms.
Sure.
And it was the wrong execution of a halfway good idea. What they've got this year is their alternate jerseys for Giants is an abortion. It's just the worst thing you've ever seen on a Major League Baseball field almost.
And by the way, so the City Connect, which I believe is what MLB is calling these City Connect jerseys, I don't know how you feel about those. And some turned out really well and some did not. I don't know how you don't look at this and think, wow, now it does look like I'm being invited to a dinner party, but it's pretty awesome.
It looks pretty good. I mean, that's the thing. It looks pretty good when I look at it all together. I might have gone gold stripe in the middle instead of going black stripe in the middle of the helmet stripe. But I like the gold face mask. Again, the saloon font on the jerseys is just no notes. Perfect.
Yes.
Love the saloon font. I would have liked to have seen red helmet, white jersey, saloon font, maybe red pants.
Ooh, okay.
Gold pants. To me, I would have leaned more into the red or the gold than lean this hard into the black this time around with the Niners if I were doing it. But this is what the Niners put out. Again, we can't even read all the little details.
No, which is almost unnecessary, really. I mean, in the end, it is unnecessary. And I would say this much. The faithful thing, because it's not really a thing. Does anyone else in the NFL adopt Gold Rush?
No.
I think that would have been, I mean, if you're going to hearken to what what the Niners are, I mean, I think Gold Rush would have been a good theme.
If I just changed the red to blue, this is Carolina Panthers. This is a million teams. This is the Arizona Cardinals. This is a little Purdue Boilermakery to me. This has been done before. We've seen this before. I think they've kind of blown the chance to show us something a little bit new. Again, imagine if you incorporated the oval SF maybe onto the sleeve of the jersey, so you're still rocking your primary logo, and then the helmet had the Golden Gate Bridge wrapped around it. Just a wraparound Golden Gate Bridge, something. I think that there were better ideas than just this idea. This idea is an old idea, but it is an improvement on their old idea. Again, the helmet, it's hard to poke holes in. It really is. It's a pretty dope helmet. I'll admit that. This is the faithful. They zoom up there a little bit. Again, I know you're trying to get a fancy script F there that looks like a number 2, that looks like toothful more than it looks like faithful to me. And you got a whole generation of kids who never even learned cursive, so that's going to get lost. There are the saloon fonts. No notes, perfection. Really
just gorgeous. And then we'll get to the other teams, but stick with the Niners first, because I don't believe anyone else got. So there's 8 teams here we're talking about. This is AFC East, NFC West are the teams that this was revealed for. And I don't believe anyone else got black the way the Niners did. Okay. There are other, I mean, the Jets already, they have black involved in there. So I think they did, but I just want to go to what the Niners are. I still think the Niners is, it's my favorite one of these. It's my favorite one of these, really, because I think black and gold is just so, and I know Steelers like to pretend that's black and gold. We know it's black and yellow. It's black and gold, Damon, is tough to beat. In fact, look, the hat behind me that we're not seeing right now that I'm going to grab real quick. This is at the New Orleans Super Bowl.
Bias built into this.
Look at this. The New Orleans Super Bowl. They were stitching these at one of the booths at the the Niners-Ravens Super Bowl. The Niners, so not LAX, not the one we just had, but Niners-Ravens Super Bowl. At that Super Bowl, there was a booth within Radio Row, and they were actually customizing, I think, names on the back of these, but it was just this, and you could put whatever you wanted on it. I got just a clean one, but look at the black and gold combo, how clean that is.
It just, to me, here's the thing.
I mean, I don't know. That's unbeatable to me, black and gold.
So Indiana, we're all for you. You're talking Purdue. I'm not down with Purdue uniforms. I'm not down with Purdue colors. To me, black and gold, I think New Orleans Saints. And when I think New Orleans Saints, I like the helmet. I've always liked the helmet. But when I think New Orleans Saints, I think losers. Like when I think Purdue football, I think
you think Aints. I mean, Saints, you think Aints. But I'd like to think Drew Brees put an end to that. I understand Kellen Moore's got a lot to do to change that opinion right now. But Drew Brees helped. I'm sorry. Obviously, a post-Katrina Super Bowl, and I know it wasn't that season. They actually lost in the NFC Championship to the Bears in the season after Katrina. But when they beat Peyton Manning in the Super Bowl in Miami, I mean, that changed bags over your head Saints forever. And I think there is now
a little. They won one, but
they didn't won one. They won one Super Bowl. So they won a Super Bowl and they had the best record in the league that season. I mean, they were special that season. And Drew Brees is, he's synonymous with one team. The Chargers get to say, wow, maybe we should have, could have.
You made me talk about how much I don't like Purdue this whole fucking show. You think I got compliments for Drew Brees? Come on. Fuck your black and gold and your Drew Brees and your Saints memories and all your black and gold. Let me show you what's beautiful. You want to see a team that really got this right? You really want to see a team that got this right? Let me share this, Sammy.
I do.
I would have liked to have seen the Niners do something like this.
So you like the ice here. You like the ice.
Straight up iced out. Imagine that uniform, exactly what you're looking at, except the Niner red and gold logo on the side of that helmet instead of the frosty Buffalo Bill.
I see. I see where you're going there. And I do like white. I would say in a lot of situations, though, I'll see your white jersey and I'll raise you to black. I think there's something there with the black that's just a pop. I don't know. And I appreciate Penn State. I appreciate Yankee pinstripes, the simplicity of certain things. But that's pretty gorgeous, man. I don't know. The black, I just can't get away from. But then again, so this is the Bills. This is the Bills, and they're called something like Ice Front, right? Cold Front. Is that what they're doing? Which is a great, right? Like that's
in Buffalo. They by the way, they totally, they're embracing the snow culture of upstate New York, and it works. It works.
It's brilliant. I mean, this makes sense, right? This lines up with who you are. Yeah, this lines up with who you are as a Bills fan. I think this is really cool. And you know what? Here's what's nice about this one, Damon. Although, wait, you know what though? Does this give you Colts vibes?
A little bit, but I'm going to tell you right now, I've always thought the Colts uniforms were the best part of that franchise. Like the Colts.
Well, yeah, there's just like a Johnny Unitas. Like I can picture his haircut, right? It's like that is just there's something clean about Indy in that way. Yeah. Yes. You know what I thought also?
Again, I'm very pro when the Jets came out with the Bill Parcells Jets throwbacks where they had like green jerseys, and the white helmet, with the green New York Jet thing.
Yes,
I thought those were dope as hell. Look at this. This is the Jets. This is what the Jets are doing. The Jets tweak their font numbers a little bit, but it's basically all dark green. Same. There's not a lot of difference here with the Jets.
I've seen a version of this. Right. I've seen the Jets do this before. The Jets have done a version of this sort of black and green is just, I've seen it and it stands out and it's nice, but I feel like the Jets, when the Jets went with those really shiny green helmets, the ones that were really aggressively sort of not matte the other way, it went really shiny metallic. I thought that would have been something to lean into here. Yeah. That would have been cool.
This looks like when the Eagles wear their black jerseys.
Yep, it does. It absolutely does. You're right. That's got a Michael Vick vibe to it. Yeah.
This is Miami. Miami's got this little jersey that they're showing us. We don't have a better picture of the Miami setup. What are their helmets going to be? Are they going black helmets or white helmets?
I'll get a version of that. This is pretty cool. I mean, the Patriots, I'm just not used to seeing the Patriots in anything different in a way, right? And
this is the Patriots looking like either the Buffalo Bills or the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah, very much so. And we'll see on the field. I don't love it but I mean, I also don't hate it. This, again, and with this, I don't ever get that emotional because it's one game.
Right.
But this is pretty clean. But I almost feel like there's no change other than the helmet's a different color.
That's it. So the Rams have black helmets, but everything else is basically the same, right? That's what we're looking at.
And by the way, you know what? I'll give a tip of the cap. You know what's right about that? The Rams know their jerseys so fucking perfect now that they went to the throwback full time that they don't mess around.
Well, and that's also, you want to talk about your helmet is perfect, don't mess with it. There you go. I mean, that's it. They've always had an awesome helmet.
There was a year, Damon, when the Rams came back. They first came back to LA. They had to wear, I think, St. Louis pants and LA jerseys. There was some contractual obligation they were basically mismatched for all these games. It was awful. That season was awful. It was the worst Rams combo of all time. They basically were wearing pants from one team and a shirt from a different team.
Instead of it being LA face with an Oakland booty, it was LA face with a St. Louis booty.
It was.
Yeah. Thank you, Sir Mix-a-Lot, for your contributions to this show. So this is Sam Darnold, and it looks like they got it looks like a pencil drawing on their shoulders. Like there's pencil striping on the Seahawks shoulders there that I don't really know what they're going for there.
It's like a ventilated, right? There's sort of that's what it looks like to me. It looks a little ventilated.
Little rips or something. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of those, although they kept it kind of simple, but it doesn't look that much different from what they wear anyway. I
actually think what's going on behind there, go back to Seahawks real quick. I think what's going on behind there is pretty fresh. I thought that would have been an interesting thing to do. That greened out Seahawk. Yeah, that greened out Seahawk is kind of fresh. I think that, imagine that on a white helmet.
Aren't dudes getting arrested for throwing those on WNBA courts?
You're absolutely right. That's amazing. That's an amazing
green dildo.
That's a great call. That's a great call. So there, that's good. And I think the Cardinals are in there somewhere too. The Cardinals had a cool theme going with theirs. They were, I can't remember what they were calling themselves. The Cardinals were calling themselves let's see, what were they? I'll get the Cardinals one up there too. But the Cardinals was pretty cool also. And it's, look, all of these things are, in the end, it's one game, Damon. And I don't want to get, it's not worth having outrage about it at all.
It's not a whole season in them or anything like that. It is one game. It's the last game of the year.
And it's new gear. In the end, it's just new gear. Yeah, it's new gear, right? It's new cool gear. I mean, if you're a fan and you're looking for gear, I also, by the way, where do you stand on this? I think this is a bigger conversation for you now. Where do you stand on wearing a jersey as a gentleman as a man at this point in your life, right? I mean, we're far from being children. Right. Where do you stand on showing up rooting for a team in a jersey? I have a very strong opinion on this, which changed not for any dramatic reason, but
I'm kind of don't wear the concert T-shirt to the concert guy.
Yep.
I feel like it's if you want to be part of a big tailgate and you're going with your friends, you're going to a football game to get drunk, put on a Patrick Willis jersey. I don't give a shit. I'm not going to hold that against you. I have no problem with a guy wearing a Patrick Willis jersey to a 49er game who's my age. Where I think it's like, all right, dude, is like when you're at Safeway rocking your Patrick Willis jersey. Like there's a time and a place for it. There's a setting for it. I don't mean to sound like, bah humbug Gary Radnich over here. Sports are supposed to be fun. You want to dress like the team, that's fine. But I think when you're at the game, it's fine.
Yes.
If you're going out with your friends to a sports bar, that's fine. If you're trying to go meet a girl tonight and you're wearing a jersey, you need to do a little bit better.
I'm all for the jersey shirt, the jersey. I think I've completely gone away from, especially for football. The idea that I'm wearing a jersey without pads under it, I actually just completely got out of the idea that the jersey should be something I wear. I think wearing a cool shirt about the team is just a better way to go. And everyone's got, right? I mean, so many people, it's just like the jersey thing to me. It's just like, I jump the shark.
I can, because I have broad shoulders. My mom always said my best attribute is my broad shoulders. So I look good in a jersey. I do.
So that's
pot belly a little bit. It's nice.
I like that. I like that a lot. Here, I'm going to turn my mic down. I know I'm seeing a lot of people are worried about my sound. I'm going to turn my shit way down. Look at this. Ooh, there we go. There, I'm a lot. I'm a lot lighter now. I should be lighter. You can ask everyone. I turned us down.
I thought you sounded good in the first place.
That's great. Yeah. I mean, of course, we think we would never want to blast anybody out on purpose, but
hey, look good, sound good, feel good. It's all part of it. Yes. And again, Jose is like, what is this, a fashion show? Yes. I'm Joan Rivers.
At the moment.
My daughter, Melissa Rivers, and we're welcome to the ease inside the red carpet of the NFL.
That's what we do. And you know what? It's not just that it was jersey reveal. This had a very big Niners theme to it. The Niners are part of this in a big way. You know, the reveal was Niners have a new jersey. And yeah, I think we want to jump into that. I also think, you know, what's interesting, it's for rivalry, you know, Niners Seahawks. Where does that rank on the rivalries for you, by the way? I think that's a more interesting conversation. I'd love to ask everybody in the chat, like Niners rivals, you know, right now we're watching Jerry Jones and the Cowboys documentary, right? I mean, you talk Niners rivals, where does it rank? I mean, Niners Seahawks.
It's no further away than their second biggest rival. That's it. I mean, it's Niners Seahawks. That was it. That was the biggest game in football for years.
Crabtree, Sherman.
There between, the
Crabtree, Richard Sherman's great.
Best of Harbaugh. They were awesome. That was an awesome rivalry. The Rams, again, it was more geographically based, but then the Rams actually did something that hurt the Niners by beating them in the NFC title game. So that really put some oomph in it. I will say, you know, with all due respect to the Rams and the division rival Seahawks, Niners-Cowboys is a level of football royalty. That's New Year's Eve right there. You know, it's a good thing that we don't have two of those a year. We really don't need two of those a year. We need one of those in the playoffs every few years. Niners-Packers for a bit. Not Niners-Giants. I know that people want to talk Niners-Giants into mattering. Every now and then, once a decade, that game matters, maybe.
Kyle Williams, you know, like forever, yeah. But Niners-Giants, and again, the greatest Niners-Giants game, I just want to say quickly, 2002 playoff game, right? And that ended with the botched snap.
The Trey Duncan game? Trey Duncan game?
Yes, the incredible comeback, Jeff Garcia. I mean, that's maybe the most memorable for me. And I know Lawrence Taylor would have something to say about that, but I'm going to say yes. Niners Cowboys. By the way, I would have loved to see that. Like those new jerseys on a Niners Cowboys game would have been pretty cool to see. And by the way, for the Cowboys, I mean, ask Dak Prescott what it's like to play the Niners. I mean, that has been a rough talk about the rivalry flipping on its head. I mean, Niners Cowboys has been ugly for the Cowboys.
It has been.
I mean, we're talking not getting a final playoff in a playoff game and then back-to-back seasons of just not even showing up in a ball game. Were both of those games, I think 28-0 and 27-0 might have been what the score ran out to in both of those. I mean, it was rough. Rough sledding.
We've got 120 people in the room right now, and we don't even have 50 likes. So that means a lot of you are not fulfilling your end of the bargain. All you got to do is tap that thumbs up button. It's real easy. Hit like and subscribe if you would, please. And again, when you're thinking about where you're going to go for lunch this afternoon, hopefully you live around an Ike's or there is an Ike's near you, or you are in Ike's delivery distance. Check out Ike's Catering for your office, for your group. You're maybe having a whole bunch of people over for that first NFL Sunday. Yeah. 2 Sundays from now, get some Ike's Catering to take care of that group gathering. Everyone will eat well. He's got something for everyone. He might even have bananas in his sandwiches.
You know what? We could. But by the way, bananas as an ingredient. Remember, Damon, I'm okay. Banana as an ingredient, go for it. Go nuts. Okay. An Ike, if you want to put banana chips on a sandwich, could be amazing. I mean, we know an onion ring on a Damon Bruce steak sandwich is outstanding. So you want to play around with some banana chips? I'm okay. But bananas, yeah, I mean, that's... Come on. That's a jersey that's perfect, right? I mean, we don't want to,
bananas.
That's perfect. I mean, there's really some things in life are just perfect, and that's one of them. So I love that. Absolutely.
Take the gun, leave the bananas.
Bananas.
Go bananas at the Dubliner West Portal. Actually, don't go too nuts. It's not that kind of a bar. It's more of a adults hangout here type of bar.
That's true.
You're going to love the Dubliner West Portal when you go there. I'm even rocking the T-shirt today. I'm going to be popping into the Dubliner
really
a little bit this week, next week. I got a couple of let's just say afternoon beverage meetups with a few.
You know what? I like that a lot, Damon. I like that a lot. That's a great way to go. And the Dubliner is a place that you and I shared a Guinness there for sure, and we should do that again. I'll find a reason to come up this season. I'll find a reason to get there.
You got to get up here, baby.
That's absolutely got to happen. By the way, I love how, I mean, we've done this now for two shows, certainly, that we've talked about it, but I just want to tell everybody again, I mean, that Cowboys documentary, I just want more people. I need everybody to understand how, certainly for Niners fans, but frankly, if you're a fan of football at all, you have to be watching that. I mean, if you want to understand what it's like to hate a team that's better than you for a period of time, it is so outstanding to watch that. It's fantastic television. And I know Jerry put it together, but wow.
It was great.
It's done well.
It was great. It was really well done. All the memories are great. All the 90s nostalgia is great. It's A+. Each episode, I don't think there's a weak link really in the episodes.
No.
All of them fit together. All of them tell the story really, really well. Even though it is Cowboys signed off on it production, it is very critical of them and Jerry Jones and the world that they've created for themselves at the same time. It's just A+. It's A+ TV. It really is. So
it's great. And I'm glad. I mean, we talked to Andrew about it yesterday and he was at the premiere, and I think everyone should get a kick out of that. And by the way, Cowboys fans, I mean, just a good shot at the Cowboys fans right now. Yeah. If you want to feel better about the Cowboys recently, watch that.
By the way,
that's really it.
How does he go to the premiere of that? Do they just show the first episode? They're not showing all 8 hours?
I don't think he told me that he had seen the 5. I think he got the 5. He may have gotten early access to the 5, which is pretty cool. So that's nice, but good for him, right? I mean, that's pretty cool. So I love that. I love that he got that. But I mean, it was just such good viewing. And by the way, on your first Sunday, Damon, you're going to be at from a first, what is your NFL Sunday setup? Before we get into, I know we're getting into tiers and a few other things, but on Sunday, I'm so locked into being at home with the 4 TVs. And I know you're going to Niners games a lot also. I don't
go to Niners games. I do.
You hate sleeping.
I am better at covering the NFL from right here than I am at an NFL game.
That I understand. And I'm so with you on that.
Yeah.
I'm so, TV, if I don't have something in my hand, I want to be under the hood with reviewing each play. That's what I want to be doing.
You got clicker thumb. You got clicker.
Yeah. I just no matter what. And that, I know that isn't like with a younger audience that maybe doesn't mean what it used to, but that is absolutely what it is. That's my scroll.
We got Mario says that Cowboys documentary sort of rubs it into the Niners, but Damon took it as, hey, part 3 is about the Niners. Did you see part 5? Where the Niners come back and end it? I mean, that's the thing. You can't tell the story of one team without the other. They're forever linked together. And that was awesome. I mean, it was really awesome. Look at it this way. If you can't see the forest through the trees, I'm just going to stop handing you the map. You don't know what you're doing. That is a really good Niners documentary. It's the best Niner documentary I've ever seen. And it's in a Cowboys film.
And like I said,
Cowboys.
Episode 3 opens up at the Niners facility. Carmen Policy is all throughout it. Jerry Rice is all throughout it. And like you said, putting a stamp on the end. And again, the Barry Switzer, the Dion game is just such an incredible moment. I mean, to watch that even, it's just.
Dion Crip walking in a 49ers uniform.
It's so well done.
Amazing.
I mean, and as an Eagles fan, to see Irvin's last game. At the vet, I mean, I
forgot he nearly broke his neck in his final game. I really did.
And of course, the Eagles fans apparently, that's one of those, again, booing for Santa Claus. There are rumors that the Eagles were cheering when Irvin was down, and of course that ended up.
They were. Philadelphia sports fans are the most venomous group of assholes who have ever gotten together to root for anything, and I don't want them to ever change.
Exactly,
that's who they are. If you are a horrific human being. Be your best version of a horrific human being you can at an Eagles game. I'm all for it. That's your brand. Go for it.
So, all right. So preseason, Damon, you want to do that?
Yeah. That's what I want to say. So we have done our fashion reviews. I'm going to give the Niners a 6.5 out of 10. They leaned exactly into the direction that I didn't want them to lean into, but they actually did a decent job with what I didn't want. So I'll give them that much. What did we learn? Probably nothing. And that speaks of the NFL preseason, does it not? It really, really does. By the way, like and subscribe. Thank you so much. Do it on both channels. Do it now, please. If you're watching over here, click over to Andrew Siciliano and Sam Batesh Thinking Out Loud. Give a like and subscribe over there and vice versa. Mwah. God bless. What do we learn from this NFL's preseason? It's hard, right? I think the very first thing we learned here, Sam, is that it is almost impossible to define club to club, much less for fans, what the value of the preseason even is. You have very different approaches across football with different coaches having different applications of how they're handling and using a preseason. You know, Andy Reid takes the most groomed number 1 draft pick of all quarterbacks in the world, Patrick Mahomes, and treats him like a rookie who needs seasoning. He gets right out there and plays in the preseason, where we won't see Matthew Stafford until the Rams make the Super Bowl, at which point in time they will play him. You know, I mean, they are...
McVay went full load management. I mean, that's the thing. Exactly. McVay made that really, he made that famous. McVay decided we're just not taking a chance with anybody. And I think a lot of teams started to adopt that in knowing that, okay, the only way to guarantee no injury in the preseason is to not have anybody trot on that field. Right. So there is that. But there were
better to be rusty than injured.
Than unavailable.
And I don't disagree with that. I really don't disagree with that at all. Even though we don't know what we're looking at, how it's valued by the team, how it's valued by the coaches, what to really evaluate, because there is no sport where your performance is directly tied to my performance quite like football. It is the most intricate ballet in sports. And if this person doesn't have their footwork right, this person on the other side of the field could be totally screwed. It's beautiful how it all fits together. That's the chaos of football.
I'll say this about the preseason. I will have one takeaway.
Okay.
I will have one overall. There's one thing that definitively happened this preseason.
Okay.
Jackson Dart will be an NFL quarterback of note. That there's no question. I would say the player, he saw a lot of time, so that's part of it. But Jackson Dart, in numerous situations, in numerous games against different levels of competition in regards to starters and second string and third string being out there, in every scenario he was put in, Jackson Dart looked the part of NFL quarterback. If you're dressing up as an NFL quarterback for Halloween, he nailed the costume. He's got it. I thought he was best dressed at his position. That was a no-brainer to me. And I know quarterback's the one you look at that you can really maybe see the most from. That's it.
It makes you wonder, like, Jameis Winston's in the room and Russell Wilson's in the room. And do either one of those guys need to be in the room? Because shouldn't this be Jackson Dart's room now? But I'll say this. I think I saw it in the CBS article where, it was kind of discussing this, where they said one of the things you could see is the Giants have a succession plan at quarterback. And there's not a lot of teams out there who can have or do have as clear a plan. And the criticism of that plan for the Giants would be you're actually stunting your own plan. You should just go to the kid right now and not dick around with Russell Wilson at all or Jameis Winston at all, and just go with Dart, throw him into the fire and see what you got.
And let's just say this much. Last season for the Giants, Hard Knocks offseason, which is a show that they starred in, turned out to be a catastrophe for them because it followed their path of trying, and it turns out to be now the word failing, to re-sign Saquon Barkley. And the owner, Mara, says he would really be upset to see him go to the Eagles. He does. The Eagles win the Super Bowl. The Niners, the Giants have a disastrous season. So that went horribly wrong. This offseason, right now, if you're a Giants fan, now you're not thinking this season maybe much, but Jackson Dart, Malik Neighbors, and Carter, by the way, who also in the preseason was certainly
Abdul Carter. Yeah.
Abdul Carter is, again, is he going to be Lawrence Taylor? We don't need to say that yet, but he can be Abdul Carter, and that's okay right now. He looks every bit the part also. Mm-hmm. Starting to see something towards the future. You know me, I'm a Scattaboo guy because my 3-year-old son Levi loves watching Scattaboo play Texas in that Peach Bowl, but there might be something brewing with the Giants that, you get that position right and all of a sudden everything else looks really good. So for now, and to your point about stunting it, Tommy DeVito, that's why Tommy DeVito's a Patriot and not a Giant today. And it's Shane, Tommy Cutlets, see you later. But that's Jackson Dart played Tommy DeVito out of town. And having, I still think at some point, there's going to be a team calling for Jameis Winston. I still think that will happen. I still think Jameis
is a very good backup quarterback. He's the kind of backup quarterback who can throw 400 yards on you. Unfortunately, 2 pick sixes going the other way. He'll throw 50
yards. 400 yards for you, 50 yards for the other team. That's Jameis. That's okay.
Here's one thing that we definitely learned about this preseason. I mean, this is definitive. There's no arguing with this anymore. The one thing that we've learned is that it still stops the world when it's happening, even though we all know it's kind of bullshit. Every single football fan knows that they're sitting down to watch something that's kind of bullshit. But we would rather watch that kind of bullshit. In the NFL's preseason is more valuable than the NBA's postseason, and the NFL's preseason is more consumed than Major League Baseball's postseason. I mean, that is just a monster. I never thought that NFL preseason games would literally be getting bigger audience than NBA Finals or World Series games, but that happened with the Hall of Fame game this year. It's amazing the stranglehold of attention the NFL has on the world of sports.
We should make. Yeah. And I wanted you to finish this thought. I'm sorry to jump in, but it goes with this. We should make an NFL calendar. Not anyone puts up a calendar anymore to flip, but each month, I just think to designate how much the NFL owns the calendar. You think in your mind, you're thinking, okay, September through the first week of February. But if you could go through and understand, April being draft, and then free agency, and then training camp, and then Hall of Fame, and then Hall of Fame game and preseason. The amount of months that actually the NFL doesn't give anyone a chance at having their month. There's something NFL related every month. Every month, the NFL actually owns. It's spectacular what they've done.
And it's great at just like inventing a day of attention, like it did this morning with the uniform release thing.
Exactly, out of nowhere, right? Like, why? And then there it is. That's just amazing. That's absolutely amazing.
By the way, Levi is
crushing in there. I mean, I don't even want to know what's happening in there. Like, is Allie, what are the chances that Allie's even survives whatever just happened in there, right?
Is this homemade hollandaise sauce, or is this actually like from a packet of Knorr? That's what he sounds like me at brunch complaining about the hollandaise sauce.
And that's you know what? And he deserves it. And he is a great eater. So normally he's scarfing it down. So if he's upset, there must be something wrong in there. So that the preseason for me would do that. And I guess frankly, look, for the Niners fans that are here with us, you know what the other thing I'll take away is? Holy shit, what are we doing at wide receiver? I mean, that definitely was, I mean, each game had a story of what's going to happen. And then the one bright spot.
I didn't need the games for that to know that.
You're right. But that
was the problem that I saw before the first game started. So,
Yes, you're right. But in that, the slight silver lining is, as I texted you, Purdy to Pearsall looked nice.
It did.
That did look nice. Nice.
We saw a little bit of it. I want to see more of it. That's good. Outside, though, of watching Chase Lucas play his way onto the roster, and he really did.
Yeah, he did.
I'm not sure anybody really played themselves on or off the roster for the 49ers during the preseason. I think a lot of these decisions get made before anything gets even put on tape in a lot of cases, except for maybe Junior Bergen, who, outside of being outstanding on punt return, wasn't going to make the 53-man. And as soon as he fumbled that punt in the final game, he knew he wasn't going to be on the team, and he's not. It's really hard to evaluate any individual performance. It's really hard to evaluate any team performance. It's really hard to evaluate any coaching performance. These guys aren't game planning at all. Everyone is the first to run to the microphone to tell you, well, the final score of this game doesn't matter. All right, so if it doesn't matter who wins or loses or coaches or plays, what does any of it matter? What does any of it matter? So much of it feels like all of these roster spots have been predetermined anyways. That's why I'm glad that Chase Lucas proved, hey, you can make this team with a great preseason, because I thought maybe the days of that being a reality were almost behind us. So
I'm glad. I mean, Chase Lucas put a quarter of football down on tape that said, I'm an NFL, I'm a professional football player.
I'm a guy. I'm a
professional football player
on your team.
Yeah.
And I'm scrappy. I'm scrappy. Here's the thing. You want some attitude? You want some chin up, chest out, shit talking? Every team needs that, by the way. He's got it. He's got it. I like the guy who's on the edge of the roster who's there to talk shit to everybody. I love that guy. That guy. It's my kind of guy. Speaking of my kind of guy, Lucian LeChance IV.
What a great name.
Very, very much. Not to be a downer, but I think the Rivalry uniforms could have been better. I like the saloon lettering and the faithful on the front of the jersey, but the helmet doesn't look great in my opinion. I hear you. I would have liked to seen the Niners go with like a white helmet. I would have liked to seen the Niners do something then lean into that black thing that they tried a few years ago. This is a better version of that, though. I will give them that. I didn't like the first go around at black. This is a little bit better. And again, thank you for coming to E! Entertainment Television NFL Red Fashion Carpet Update. I think we did a great job today. I really did. Nikki, what do you think? Nikki?
Look, I'll put on the right the Sammy Jesse Raphael. I'll put the glass. I mean, that was a fashion breakdown. I'll put on the sort of green blue glasses. Get Ernberg's comment up here. I want to remind him of something. And Ernberg, thank you.
Pay $10 to talk about a uniform being played in a pointless game. Who gives a fuck? Hey, Joseph, anyone who wants to give a super chat, how about this, Joseph? You owe me 20 for trying to stop the business.
And wait,
yes,
pointless game. Not true.
That's
not true.
That could be for all the marbles.
It's an NFL game, regular season, pointless game. Wait, pointless game. It's far from a pointless game.
It's an NFL game.
It's a division game. It's far from. I mean, this is far from a pointless game.
What if that locks up home field throughout?
No, in no scenario is that a pointless game. So I'm sorry. Not a pointless game. An NFL game on an NFL schedule is every bit of meaningful. So that's it. All right. That's a good one. I'm upset for Niner fans about something else, Damon. And I know we're going to get to it. And I actually figured out a way for us to get it even on the screen a little bit here, but there was a lot of shows will do this. They'll kind of go through the season. They'll give you tiers of who they think's a contender for the Super Bowl and whatnot. CBS Sports did a great one just looking at the NFC, the tiers of teams that they would consider Super Bowl contenders. And I don't even want to say this is obvious. So the number
NFC
one,
only. This is NFC only. NFC. Yeah. So before you Chiefs fans are going, okay, NFC only.
NFC contenders here. This is for representing the Super Bowl for the NFC. The teams that CBS Sports has said are the real contenders. Now, I think there could be a tier above this. I really don't know that Packers or Rams are in this. And I have a bigger
problem with the Lions up there than any other team, because the history of football says you lose both your coordinators, you in trouble. They lost both their coordinators. Dan Campbell has been abandoned by the quality coaching around him. And until we know what the next group does with the talent that they have, how can we say, yeah, no problem? Like, the Lions don't exactly historically have a lot of winning habits built in.
No.
So I have a bigger problem with the Lions being up there than I do the Packers or the Rams. The Eagles are the defending Super Bowl champs until they're not. So of course they get their spot there.
I think this is okay. I think the Stafford question mark makes this interesting for me. Are we through the idea that Stafford's just healthy and that's it? Right. Are we all? And I think if you're going to give me Stafford for 16 of the 17 games, this is correct. And of course, if that doesn't turn out to be the case, then this is definitely different. And if we're talking injury at quarterback, Jordan Love was not healthy last season. So
we're talking injury at quarterback. Don't we have to be a little cool on the Rams just right there? If injuries to quarterbacks matter and this guy's injured. So let's see. So, here's the thing. I know Niners fans are looking at that and going, hey, last year was a weird year. What about us? Well, if you're not on tier 1 Niner fans, according to CBS, you got to be on tier 2, right? Wrong. This is their fringe contender. By the way, I'm going to tell you right now, Tampa has a better chance of playing its way to tier 1 than Washington does. And I think Washington is in for the biggest reality check in the sport.
Wow.
Watch Washington backpedal 2 or 3 wins worse than they were last year.
Now here's my question.
Watch a sophomore slump. Watch Debo do very little to change them. And I'm just telling you, I'm fading Washington based on sophomores have rough trips through high school.
So is this really, I mean, it's so funny how these two will be tied together, but the CJ Stroud slump from this past season is what has a lot of people tying Jaden Daniels to an anchor here. And I can see that. The bigger part of this is the news that happened most recently. The Brian Robinson thing. I mean, they must love, I know they love the kid Scarrett, who was, I think, a late draft pick for them. And he's looked great in the preseason. But the Brian Robinson thing is interesting. And one thing you didn't say, Damon, but this team is so young at quarterback, of course, but everywhere else, it's looking like that, they wanted to take one last run through this with the players they had instead of really refreshing it. Von Miller's here, and obviously we know, and Debo's not young. Of course, we know that Zach Ertz is still the leading tight end here. There's a lot of players on this team. That Austin Eckler now in the backfield without Brian Robinson. Even Terry McLaurin is one where you're looking at, okay, maybe they were worried about the contract based on his age. So this could be, you're right. It could be they either have one more run in them or maybe it won't happen. I'm still going to say, as an Eagles fan, that Washington's that team that's knocking at the door. But I also am stunned to not see another team on here.
Is that other team the Niners?
It is.
I would have the Niners right here. I would say fringe contenders is the great way to describe them. I would think that they have done enough with healthy teams to have earned the benefit of the doubt once again. But this is where we find
Yuck. I mean,
on that third tier. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, of all of the teams on that third tier, the Niners are the best team sitting on that third tier right now.
So this is my issue. My issue is this. Tier 3 should have been Niners alone. And you could have called that tier, will they be the 2023 version? I mean, you could have just called it that, right? I mean, will we get 2023 Niners or 2024 Niners? And that's what you could have simply called it. And the Niners, I think, because here's the problem. Bears next to the Niners looks ridiculous. I'm sorry. You cannot put them at that level right now heading into this season. Falcons looks ridiculous to me. Cardinals and Seahawks divisionally, just look at the Vegas odds. They're not there with them. Maybe if you want to throw Vikings in based on where they were last season, and obviously a new quarterback's going to change a lot and leave a lot of questions there, but they were so good. I mean, the Vikings always get credit for best all-around roster in the league, right? There's a lot of that thrown around with the Vikings. Niners get that a lot too. So Niners and Vikings are similar in many ways to me. They show up with a lot of players at the right position more often than not. I would have been okay maybe with Niners and Vikings because there's questions on both, right? It's Niners, are we healthy? And it's Vikings, is JJ McCarthy as good as Sam Darnold, as good as, frankly, Case Keenum, who's the last guy to take us anywhere, right? So that becomes a little bit of those are both good question marks, right? Like you could have put them both in the category of waiting to see. And that would have been okay. But I think the others on there are just obscene.
Well, and look, Joseph goes, what, Bears, Seahawks, and Vikings are way better than Niners. Come on. Okay, so.
In what world?
Okay, Sam Darnold, no. First-year coach in Chicago. That's not going to fit instantly. Vikings have a rookie quarterback. Well, I know he's a sophomore now, but he didn't play at all his rookie year.
No, he's a Blake Griffin rookie. He's a Blake Griffin, right. Joel Embiid rookie, where you're just not doing anything that rookie season.
Does CBS realize that they have the entire freaking NFC West in the playoffs?
It's pretty funny.
They've got the entirety of the NFC West in the playoffs. So that just, I don't know how that's going to happen.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. This whole tier thing is like lazy summer, easy, hit it off the tee, sports talk radio.
And that's it. And I think you can just ask everyone in the chat, if you're being realistic about the Niners, within the NFC, if you stack the NFC right now, we've had a lot of time. We're through the preseason. If you stacked it right now, the Ayuk thing is real. The Juwan Jennings thing is a question mark. I love what Brian Robinson said. I know we're going to get to that. I mean, Kittle's signed, Warner signed, Purdy signed. There's a lot, and then a lot of players were lost from last season. But last season is not a great memory; it's a terrible memory. So, the Niners But you could have put the Niners on the first tier, and I would have been okay. You could put the Niners on the first.
I would have put the Niners here with the caveat that is they're going to play themselves off of this tier for sure. They're going to be better than this or worse than this. Yep. So I would have been very comfortable with them right here on this tier. And I think that they've got more business on this tier, to be quite honest, than Washington does. Again, sophomore quarterbacks, historically, it ain't easy throughout football. So, it's hard to bet on them. We're here to serve. We're here to serve and give good advice at all times. And Jorge Luis Sotelo says, I'm going to the Michigan Notre Dame game this Sunday night in Miami. Your prediction?
Oh,
my prediction is Notre Dame wins that game because Michigan's not cheating anymore. Certainly doesn't have the guts to cheat anymore. No, I'll take Notre Dame in that game. I will also tell you my prediction is every trip to Miami should come with a trip to Joe Stone Crabs. You need to go to Joe Stone Crabs. Forget about going to Prime 112 or 1tweezy, whatever they're calling it. Forget about that. Yeah. It is a good steakhouse, but it is way overpriced. Go to Joe Stone Crabs. If for the mustard alone, for the key lime pie alone, go to Joe's Stone Crabs you couldn't be more in Miami unless, you know, you were in a strip club doing lines of coke off a stripper with Uncle Luke himself. That Joe Stone Krabs is the best Miami anything, I think.
By the way, for the last 13 seasons, the Niners have either missed the playoffs or been in the championship game. So when you talk about playing into or out of a tier for 13 straight seasons, and actually, wait, it's more than that. Let me go because of the missing the playoffs. Let me count that up differently here. You're right. For the past 1, 2, 3, so since 2004, okay? Since 2004, every season since 04, then so we're talking 21 now. So for 20 straight seasons, the Niners have missed the playoffs or been in the NFC Championship game.
Is that good? Does that mean fire everybody, according to some people?
I mean, it means you're either stacking it for something amazing or doing something amazing. That's really right. You're either preparing for something epic or you're doing something epic. That's really what it means. So that's not bad. It's a great streak. It also means there are great swings. It also means, you know, this isn't a team. If this team shows up in the playoffs, they're doing something. They're doing something. So that's an interesting number. It's an interesting number.
By the way, the interesting thing that came out of the Niners press conference yesterday was when John Lynch was talking about Juwan Jennings, and he basically said, yeah, you know, he definitely hurt his calf, but there's also something else going on here too. And if they rubbed enough money on that calf, I bet it would be. I don't believe the 49ers when it comes to them reporting their injuries. I don't. I think that they have been proven loose with the rules of injury reporting time and time again. Again, Christian McCaffrey went from game time decision to Germany. You know, bloodletting. Yeah. So yeah. John Lynch basically said, yeah, we know what's going on here. And if you really knew what was going on here, you would have traded that guy months ago.
You know what he also said?
Or you decide to just pay him and get that done. And one of the things when we're talking about like what are we learning from the preseason? We're learning is that these teams with owners and general managers, they have no idea what they're doing when it comes to retaining good players. How many times has a player held out, them still sign a team-friendly deal and get to work with the team declaring itself a winner in that negotiation? Has that happened 0 times in your lifetime? I think that's happened 0 times in my lifetime. What happens all the time is big important player X holds out, says, I'm not going to play until you pay me. Team says, we're not going to pay you. Entirety of the preseason and training camp goes by, and then team gives the contract to the player that is at what he was asking, if not more. And the only thing that happened was a valuable preseason and training camp was missed, and you still paid through the nose for the player. You didn't save a penny at all. How does that happen every time? How does that happen over and over and over and over again? How is nobody in a league of getting out in front of trends get out in front of that trend? It's nuts to me.
I'll throw one wrench in, and Emmitt Smith will tell you that he's in a different situation than Micah Parsons is, and that also puts him in a different situation than Juwan Jennings is in. Emmitt Smith, when he held out in the 90, I believe it was the 93 season, when Emmitt quote held out, he didn't have a contract at all. He clarified that, and that's an important note to make here. So Emmitt Smith was without a key card. Okay, he was without a contract for the Cowboys and didn't show up at camp, and ended up not showing up for 2 games that they lost in a season where they ultimately got him under contract and won a Super Bowl. So in regards to missing preseason and winning a Super Bowl, it has happened. But I do want to differentiate, as Emmitt has pointed out on social media. It's a great clip. He wants everyone to understand, people like to say that I was a holdout, but the reality is I had no contract at all. Right. So that is different here. Yeah, that is a good difference.
He's in between books.
Yes.
He wasn't saying, I don't want to read this book anymore, give me a new book. He was in between books.
No, that's like esmith@cowboys.org no longer, like that email address doesn't go anywhere for a while. Yeah. So
esmith@cowboys.gov.edu. I can't get in. I can't log in. So what's going on here?
He needed a new login, and it happened before week 3's game, and everything turned around at that point, and they obviously went on to do what they did, but it was not the same as Micah and Jawan here, because both those guys, are looking at contracts that they just want to rework. And for Jawan, this will, because of Ayuk, and frankly, again, the guy that we don't bring up enough, Robinson, who I know you love, it's the Robinson thing that's interesting too, because if they don't have Ayuk and they don't have Robinson, it does become really a question mark, unless something that I missed in the preseason happened.
They just signed Marquez Valdez-Scantling and put him on the practice squad. That was a terrible sign. Again, why?
Well, and look, Sky Moore, they threw Sky Moore out there certainly a lot. When they picked up Sky Moore, they said, you are doing work. That was like you are here to work. Sky Moore was not. Yeah.
If you can help us or not.
But if the DeMarcus Robinson thing gets pushed, and it doesn't right now, there's no news that that's getting pushed. So he's supposed to start the season not on the field.
Right.
That no Jennings, no Ayuk, no Robinson.
It's time to line up Christian McCaffrey as a slot. It really is. He is your slot wide receiver until further notice. Have Brian Robinson carry the load in the backfield. And by the way, I loved Brian Robinson's debut press conference for the 49ers. He said everything right. He's like, hey, man, I got a lot of respect for Christian McCaffrey, but I also don't give a fuck about Christian McCaffrey. I'm here to wreck shop, plug and play, put me in, coach. I'm ready for it. I loved it. And you know who also has got to love that? McCaffrey.
Yes.
That's how dogs think. And then he says, we're going to be the best tandem in football. He might not be wrong about that.
No, let's do it.
Be wrong about that.
We just did tiers about contenders in the NFC. I want to look at an entirety of the NFL, not even just NFC, but NFC and AFC. Tandems at running back.
That's next week.
Okay.
I need graphics. I need visual aids. I need to study. I'm not ready to do that segment.
Good.
Next
I love
Thursday,
that. Let's do it. I'm texting you right now. Tiers at running back, because I think he hit on something really interesting. And unlike tiers at or duos at quarterback, which is irrelevant, because that's just whether or not you have a guy ready to step in if something were to happen. You're not playing both guys.
Right.
Running back in the league, the way the league is designed now, you are using two backs. Two backs are making the field and making an impact. And that's with injury or not. You're using two guys. So that is worth looking at.
If what's one of the prescriptions that the 49ers have to fill out to be a healthy patient this year is not overusing Christian McCaffrey. And Kyle Shanahan needs a reason to break his addiction to Christian McCaffrey. And hopefully Brian Robinson is part of that reason.
More cowbell. More cowbell.
Yeah. I don't have trust in a guy to pick up a first down late in the game, not named Christian McCaffrey. So we still have to have Christian in this game. Any single play that is a low leverage play to deciding a game, McCaffrey shouldn't be in that play.
Yes.
It's just that simple.
And by the way, this isn't right. So this isn't more cowbell. This is less bell cow.
I see what you did there. By the way, Ernberg does make good. Drops a little in the bucket. Thank you very much, Joseph. Guaranteed Stafford's back won't hold up. Super Bowl baby. All I'm going to tell you is that backs are kind of a point of no return in the disintegration of an athletic career.
Yeah.
You can get over ankles and knees. Those are tough. You can get over once it's the back, you are in capital T trouble. So yeah, I would agree with you. This is why, by the way, the Rams said, "Hey man, bonsoir. If you can find a better opportunity, do it."
It happened. Remember that happened. I just want to remind everybody that look, everyone's putting the hat on where Stafford is and what's going on right now. But the Rams were on to this. The Rams said, "Find out what the Jets want to do. Find out what the Giants want to do. Talk to who you want, and we'll be here and let us know what you find out." Right. And then a new deal was done. And I want to remind everybody about April, Damon, and you and I have discussed this. We talked about the one thing we learned in the preseason. Jackson Dart is a player in this league. You know who else knew that? The Rams had a card written down on draft day. And you know what it said on it? Jackson Dart. And the Giants knew that. And they traded back into the first round after selecting Carter. And they took Dart ahead of the Rams selection. And what did the Rams do when Jackson Dart was drafted by the Giants?
They said immediately traded out.
They told everyone at their little party where there was deli meat everywhere, hanging out and having deviled eggs and saying this is our big first round draft party.
The Malibu deli tray.
They told everybody, you're all here for our first round draft pick. He's a New York Giant, so we won't be doing anything tonight. If you want to come back tomorrow, we'll put the roast beef in the fridge and you can come back tomorrow. They want to dart. So that's interesting.
FM picks in these roles should hold nicely to tomorrow because we haven't cut them yet.
And they're smart. Look, the Rams have been amazing at not selecting in the first round and winning.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, Les Snead does an unbelievable job of that. They hit on a first round draft pick last season. Of course they did on defense. I mean, again, you can't be the defensive rookie of the year without getting it right. And that's what happened for the Rams. But it was interesting the way Dart went and the way, Stafford back, like you said, age plus back, not a great combo.
By the way, hype for this offense without Debo and Watkins. What, you're already shading Jordan Watkins? He hasn't played yet. Why would you be hyped to not have him? But either way, Joseph, whenever you complain, at least you complain into the ganja jar. So we thank you as always. Look, Sammy, I know that you got to get running soon. Levi sounds like he's ready to go now.
Wow.
And I'm going to tell you that our big number in America that should scare a lot of men. I want to share it with you. Okay. I want to share.
Okay. Let's go.
I'm not saying that men are the only people that gamble, but if you tell me like, hey, there was a shooting in America, the person holding the gun is, in my mind, always a man. And if you tell me there is a betting ticket over here, the person holding that ticket is always a man. Like, it's not a woman. I think that gambling is I'm not saying women don't gamble, but men gamble much more than women for sure.
I would say this much. I want to add to it. I'm going to give women a little credit. I bet again, but men gamble irresponsibly more than women do. I'll say that much. Yeah, I'll say that much. Yeah,
without a doubt. Look at it this way: your ratio of women tout services, where they're doing the walking thing with the big bouncing boobs, and actual women gambling, it's not quite 1-to-1. You know what I mean?
Right. And I've known a few that are great at it. I know there's a few women. I worked with a few at CBS Sports that were outstanding.
You're good at picking winners. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Pick me a winner. I don't care what your gender is if it's a winner. But the most of the people asking that woman to pick them a winner are dudes, not other women, right? So here's a big number that should scare the hell out of men in America. NFL bettors are expected to wager approximately $30 billion on the league this year. Men in America, what do you think you could do with $30 billion if you just kept it in your pocket and didn't bet it on anything? Because I'm going to tell you, most of your $30 billion in bets are going to come back losses. The vast majority of your $30 billion. Again, the Caesars didn't build a new tower this year because of all the payouts it made in its sports book. It's the money coming in that means, oh, there's a new Augustus Tower. What do you know? The $30 billion figure is approximately an 8.5% increase from a revised estimate of $27.5 billion last year. So as they were forecasting, like, how much are people going to really spend? They said, yeah, by the time we get to 2025, it'll be around 27, 28 billion. And the whole world's like, no, we are doing all the cocaine we can. Make it 30. Make it 30. Just gamble responsibly, everybody. We're going to be adding Sleeper soon as a channel sponsor. And
yes,
if you can have fun with some daily fantasy play and, knock it over your skis and keep it $5 or $10, that's what gambling's supposed to be. The problem with that is you have 3 weeks of winning in a row. And that's when you start saying, man, instead of betting 5, I should bet 20. Instead of betting 20, I should put a 50 on that. Then you lose that bet. So now you're chasing that. And we all know how this works. We've all been to Vegas. We all, so just be careful out there, folks, because this is set up for us to trip over. And there is no safety net to catch anybody. There is going to be an epidemic of gambling debt in about 4 or 5 years. It is going to have people homeless. It really will. There is a wave of gambling anxiety coming to America. Guaranteed. It's going to happen, Sammy.
Let me soften this slightly. Let me say, first of all, that anyone who wants to come on board with you and I and discuss gambling. We love the sort of the sport that has become next to football, which is gambling on football. I mean, it's essentially another sport. Right? There are now networks. I mean, think about it, right? I mean, there are networks now that are committed to just telling you about gambling on the games, right? There were networks that were once bringing you the games. Now there are networks bringing you gambling on the game. So it is an industry amongst itself, and we are in it. By the way, we are in it. We have advice for it, and frankly, we probably think we know more than we do. It's a very delicate. It is a math equation. First of all, there is math involved in this, right?
I think I know more than I do is what prevents me from usually doing it, because I know just enough to ruin our family.
And again, and speaking of family, yeah, if you went to a picnic with your extended family, you'd be the guy that everyone's like, wow, Damon knows what to do. Oh my God, I'm going to take Damon's advice and I'm going to go make money. And the problem is, yeah, you can talk about it, but to really know inside the numbers, it's difficult. And the people that do it, I love them for it, and they're amazing. And it's such a precise thing. But I'll say this much, right next to the idea that there would be an epidemic, I do want to say this much. There's a way to enjoy gambling, and I'll put it soft in quotes. Gambling on football is also really fun if you do two things. And I've done these for 10 to 15 seasons straight now. Having one fantasy team, and again, look at my number. Having one fantasy team, and let's say you put 50 to 100 on being in a league. So there's something to win at the end. And usually that means if you finish first or second, you'll win something, usually. And then last place can be something hilarious, whatever. But usually there's money to win. And put $50 or $100 on a suicide pool, and those that don't know what that is, and I'm sure most of you do, but choosing a team that won't lose each week is hilarious fun, because you're going to think that you're involved all these weeks and you end up getting blown out within the third or fourth week. But it's a great way to think that you're really involved in the gambling atmosphere, and it is fun, and you'll find yourself rooting.
Oh, Jaguars are in trouble. Well, that's damn.
Until you put $100 on them, right? And that's so it's those are two ways to be involved in this and not necessarily be in the situation that Damon's talking about, which, yeah, I mean, you're chasing every Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Chase. That's what it is.
By the way, VK says, don't listen to them, folks. Get that 401k early. Put it all on red. Boom. Retirement's at tenfold. You know, that is the go-getter attitude we also really like to see in our chat, without a doubt. But just be careful, everybody. Again, single man, no kids, no wife, Damon could go to Vegas and blow through a couple grand, and it just didn't matter. Now it does. So be careful, everybody. Are you ready to learn something? Are you ready for today in history, Sammy?
I am, but and just to not have to cut you off when we do it, happy birthday to Andrew Siciliano. And just wanted we said it yesterday, we had him on, so that'll be one.
Happy birthday again, Andrew.
So happy birthday to Andrew and voice of the Browns.
You won now.
5-1. Like he said after last year, we just don't count anymore. That's what he said. After last year, we just kind of give a tip of the cap and say, there you go.
Yeah,
but congrats.
You double it once you get to once your birthday starts with a 5. Do you even want to double that?
That's And the only other thing I want to say before we hit a great list that you have is, for those that were or weren't paying attention, it was Shohei Ohtani bobblehead last night. Not as important as that. He actually had a decision last night. So he finally qualified for a decision. You know, he's been kind of gearing up for this, pitching 1 inning, then 2 innings. Then
finally won at home. Shohei finally got he went 5 innings for the first time since Tommy John. That's a big deal.
5 innings, 9 strikeouts. He did give up a homer, which I believe is the first homer he's given up as a Dodger. And it was 9 Ks. It was a win. Shohei Ohtani, and we'll have this conversation later, bullpen or starter in the playoffs, I think is really interesting. I think his contribution as a pitcher in the postseason is actually going to really be the difference for the Dodgers this year.
I would agree with you. I would also say every Shohei Ohtani decision must serve the long term, not the moment. There is no greater investment in Major League Baseball in a singular player than there is in him. And for the Dodgers to be careful with him, it's the only way they should deal with him. I mean, that guy, I'll give you this year's World Series away if I get 8 more healthy years of Shohei. You know what I mean? Like that is some serious mathing that the Dodgers are going to have to do.
Dicey line to walk.
In terms of mathing, 10 runs. You don't see that. That was a bonanza for the Giants last night. They got a chance to sweep the Cubs. The Giants have won 4 in a row. Devers officially on a heater at home now. He's comfortable in the yard. We'll see if the Giants can't do something to just make us consider looking at the baseball scores as we get closer and closer to football season kicking off. But the Giants, in kind of a lost season, they've had a good week.
Good for them. No, honestly, that's great. And on the other side, I just want to remind everyone that this weekend, Mike Trout went completely over, which doesn't happen. And for those, Mike Trout.
Who?
Mike Trout.
I'm not familiar with this player.
And not only that, division games are always really tight. I want everyone to go and check out the Angels' schedule. Last night, the Angels lost to their division rival, the Rangers. The score was 20-3.
Strong.
So that's it. And by the way, keys to victory for tonight's game, score first. It was 1-0 Angels. They lost 20-3.
I can't think of anyone who would possibly care about that in the world other than you.
There's a level of irrelevance to certain things, and I just wanted to stamp that.
Angels box score has got to be high among them. Anyway, it ain't an easy life. It's Sammy's life. There you go. Happy birthday again to Andrew Siciliano. We'll start with him. Happy birthday to Daniel Stern, the voice of the older Kevin on Wonder Years, one of the robbers breaking into Home Alone. Daniel Stern, 68 years old today. Happy birthday to Stifler's mom, Jennifer Coolidge, who is getting a great second act thanks to her appearances on White Lotus. Jennifer Coolidge, 64 years old today. Shania Twain has hit 60 today. Shania
Twain, really very special. Shania Twain. I mean, I think there's not a lot of, I'm not crazy. You're much more aggressive in regards to concerts and getting there to concerts. I would say I think there's enough Shania Twain music that I'm familiar with that I would pretend I didn't know. But if I showed up and I was at a Shania Twain concert, I think my head would be bobbing much more than I recognize.
Outside of feels like I wouldn't know anything.
I think I do. I think I do. It's wild. I don't know why, but I do.
Happy birthday, Jack Black, 56 years old. And I'm going to tell you, one of the single greatest movies ever made in my life is School of Rock. Every time School of Rock might as well be Shawshank Redemption. When I see it on when I see it on my TV, I put it on and I don't turn it off. School of Rock kills every single time. I love it. I love that movie. Jack Black's fantastic.
And for me, it's Shallow Hal. Just for Shallow with Gwyneth Paltrow.
The Vestigial Tale. Jason Priestley. Haven't seen him. Is there life after 90210, or is he just Brandon Walsh forever? Jason Priestley, 56 years old today. Leanne Rimes is 43 years old today. And Armie Hammer. Who was like an up-and-coming actor and then decided that he would toy in the cannibalism department, and we haven't heard much from him since.
Social Network, do yourself a favor. Go back and check that one out, Social Network.
He is the Winklevoss twins.
Pretty awesome role, pretty awesome movie, pretty awesome soundtrack and
great
score.
Movie.
Yeah.
Great movie, great. The whole thing's really good. You know what he also is, and I know this only because I got a 4-year-old who can't stop watching Cars 3. He's the voice of Jackson Storm in Cars 3. Awesome. Armie Hammer is the new age car that is running freaking what's his name? Lightning McQueen, right out of NASCAR. Anyways, those are our birthdays. Happy birthday to everyone, cannibals included. So there you go. Today, Sam, in 1793, the siege of Toulon took place, and so begins the French Revolution. In that moment. So happy birthday to the French Revolution today. And
Les Miserables, by the way, and I wouldn't say that I'm a fan of musicals, but for some reason my mom drove me around as a 6-year-old and that soundtrack was on, and I'm forever in love with Les Mis. Les Mis is one of those that so I'm a huge French Revolution will always have a place in my heart, in my life because of that.
It's a part of it's part of your core memories.
It just is. It's just locked in. That's so randomly locked in there. But she says, Cosette, I love you very much. All right, we're done now.
Today in 1830. By the way, when you're playing Monopoly, do you ever invest in the utilities or the railroads?
I mean, it's smart too.
Utilities, not so much. Railroads, I do. I will buy a railroad. Did you know what B&O Railroad ever stood for?
No.
One of the it's the Baltimore, Ohio Railroads. Well, today in 1830, the Baltimore and Ohio Railroads and their new Tom Thumb Steve locomotive raced a horse-drawn car, which basically took the steam train and made it the new gold standard of, hey, we're officially faster than horses over here. We have gotten faster than horsepower. We got a steam train. Look at this, everybody. This is like when they had didn't like Usain Bolt race a tiger or something like that?
Yeah, I think it was a cheetah. Yeah, exactly. But by the way, there was some llama. Damon, there was some asshole who said, "Oh, come on, that's never gonna work. I'm never gonna lose. I want to be on a horse. I mean, that's ridiculous. Who wants to get on a train?" Yeah,
you sound like me talking about how I'm going to go on the radio as the internet's being invented.
Yeah, it's good. Smart. Look, sometimes in life, it's just a perfect marriage.
I went down to the IU library to see the internet. I saw it. I wasn't impressed. I'm going to major in radio. Fucking idiot. All right. Today in 1898, Caleb Bradham invented the carbonated soft drink. He would later go on to call it Pepsi Cola. Happy birthday, Pepsi, I guess, today. Happy birthday, carbonated soda as we know it. That happened today. Today in 1955, Emmett Till was brutally murdered in Mississippi for smiling at a white woman, galvanizing moment in the American civil rights movement, or as Donald Trump would say it, let's take this part of the Smithsonian down. Embarrassment we live in. Also today, something that I'm sure Trump wants out of the Smithsonian. Today in 1963, there was this little speech given in Washington known as I Have a Dream. He probably doesn't like the size of that display either. That should be removed. Today in 1968, protests at the 68 Democratic National Convention turned into the Battle of Michigan Avenue. And it was a huge confrontation between demonstrators and police and the Chicago, the Chicago 9? Is that what it was? The Chicago 9 or Chicago 7? That was born of this moment. And we thought that was going to be the go-to bullseye of political unrest in America. Had we only known.
Chicago 7, by the way, Chicago 7.
Chicago 7. Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's see. What else we got? Today in 1996, Charles and Diana got divorced. That was a big deal. It can't ever happen. Can't ever get divorced. Oh my God. They did it. They made divorce very fashionable. It's very, very popular to this day, if you don't mind me saying. Sad passing today in 2020. And it's really sad because, number one, he had just reached the peak of his career and we didn't even know he was sick. Today, at the age of 43, Chadwick Boseman died of colon cancer. I mean, he had just had Black Panther 2 years prior. He would have been cast in a million things going forward. What a shame.
Jackie Robinson. He's 42, right? Yeah.
It's a little bit of a Disney movie there, but yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. And there you go. Those are your days in history today. By the way, two other things. It's National Whatever Day. It is National Red Wine Day. I can guarantee you Jillian's going to take advantage of that when she gets home tonight. She loves a glass of red wine.
Nice.
And I'm not saying you got to go into the closet and find it for us here. But it is National Bow Tie Day. And Sam, yesterday, you were bragging about your Tom Ford bow tie.
Okay. So I got to get it. It's in storage. So we're going to have to bring this up again. It is in the storage unit from Connecticut. All right.
That is how valuable this tie is. It's not in a sock drawer. It's in a storage unit.
Exactly. So we got to make sure we got to get it right. We got to get it right.
So there you go. That is today in history. This is, hold on here. So Cam's dad says, today is the day in history that I unsubscribe from Damon. Leave politics to assets, sticks to sports. Cam's dad, you're a pussy. Oh, he said something that I might have disagreed with. Yeah, I take great offense to a criminal president trying to rewrite American history and whitewash it all for his sycophants. If you don't have a problem with that, I feel bad for Cam's son, whoever Cam's son is, because Cam's dad would rather live in a silo of bullshit. So fuck you. Could I make my position on how you feel about that any more clear? It would be impossible. Thank you very much for watching. To the rest of you, though, thank you very much to Sam Batesh for being here. I absolutely love hanging out with like-minded individuals, so Cam's dad can fuck off, and the rest of you, you can stay here and enjoy good company with good people who were raised by actual adults who knew how to identify bullies and bullshitters and con artists. I'm sorry you don't know what you're looking at. I do. And I'm not wrong. You are. I thought we'd end it on a light note, Sam. What do you think? How'd we do?
Red wine, right? Didn't we end on red wine? I remember. I blacked out. I blacked out. I thought we were sipping red wine, and then So that's how I remembered it.
Thanks so much for tuning in today. And please do remember that sports don't build character. They reveal it. And like that, they're gone.